apologies, Jays fans, for not doing this video earlier. Obviously, I wanted to watch the Raptor game, and, well, that didn't end well for all of us Raptor fans out there. However, neither did the Jays game today. They lost 7-5 to the Oakland A's and are now 5-4 on the season. Before I go any further, can we... Look. I've always been against the whole robot umpiring stuff because I'm like, look, you lose that human nature, right? You're not going to go there and argue with a robot ump. You're not going to go there. And what if a technological malfunction happens? What happens during the game? However, after this performance today from the home plate umpire, I'm all for it. Sign me up. What awful, pitiful umpiring today from the home plate on balls and strikes. Oh my God, it was awful. Charlie Montoyo and John Schneider were having a heyday in the dugout all game long. And then it gets to, what was it, the 8th inning or the 9th? I can't remember which inning it was. But Charlie Montoya, he finally has it. He's like, all right, enough is enough. He starts yelling at the umpire. Umpire takes his helmet off and looks at Charlie. I'm like, oh, this is asking for trouble. Charlie says something else back. He gives him the boot. And Charlie goes out there and gives him an earful and doesn't stop. And I'm like, that's my manager. We haven't seen that emotion from Charlie in forever. And it was awesome to see. And then when he's coming off the field, he gives the fans, oh, let's get loud, let's get loud. I'm like, okay, Charlie, get me hyped. But the Jays lose 7-5. Let's break down this game, though, because it didn't start well. Well, actually, let me rephrase. It started well in the first because Vladdy, and Tapia starts off with a double. I'm like, whoa, okay. In the leadoff spot, no George Springer. All right, good job, Tapia. And then he comes around to score on a fielder's choice from Vladdy. I think it was a chopper to third. Tapia takes off on the hit, slides in head first safely. Great stuff for him. Jays in front, 1-0. After Ryu goes 3 up, 3 down to the first, I'm like, oh, this is a great start to the game, a great start to a Toronto sports day. And then the top of the second happens. And Ryu just caves in. I mean, when you're throwing 89, 88, 90... you can't throw it down the middle of the plate. You just can't. You're just asking to get destroyed. And Ryu is a guy who's never been a guy who's going to throw upper 90s. But he's always been a guy nibbling the corners. That's why he's been so dominant for the most part of his career. But you look at after the first 3 months of last season and onwards into this year, the man's got an ERA north 8. And that's a pretty decent sample size. In the top of the second inning, it was Noisy, whatever the heck his name is. It's an RBI single. Sean Murphy comes in to score. This is very quickly after this inning. I think Murphy starts it off with a double, and this guy hits a single, and bang, bang, it's a tie game. Then former Blue Jay Kevin Smith, because he's been hitting all over the place this series so far, hits an RBI double. 1 run comes in to score, and they were down 2-1. But they weren't done. Bethencourt then rips a double. Smith comes in to score. There's nobody out still. And you're down 3-1, and I'm like, man, what the hell happened to Ryu there? He had a great first, gets the first 3 guys in the order, no problem, and then just falls apart. And then we go to the top of the 3rd inning with Jet Lowry on base. My goodness, Murphy gets an 88-mile-an-hour meatball right down Broadway. I mean, you just can't do that. Because the man destroys it into the WestJet flight deck. It's a 2-run bomb. And you're down 5-1 to the Oakland A's in the top of the 3rd inning. I believe Ryu only goes 4. And then it was arm soreness or fatigue. And I'm like, the man's thrown like 8 innings this year. Like, there's no fatigue. Is he going to have a phantom IL stint? I don't know. But Ryu has not been good since like June of last year. July maybe of last year. And we tried to have faith in the guy. Why? Because he's making a good bit of money. So you got to find a way to like what he's doing. But it's been hard to watch. Now, the Blue Jays, they don't give up though. Collins again. I mean, what? Reese who? I mean, I was yapping this guy a few games ago, having 5 at-bats and 4 Ks. I'm like, the guy's useless. And now he can't get out. Zach Collins gets the RBI single in the bottom of the 4th inning, scoring Gurriel. And just like that, 5-2 game. Okay, we move ahead to the bottom half of the 6th inning. And Matt Chapman comes up with Gurriel on, and he hits a high booming drive to left field. And it gets out of the ballpark for a 2-run shot. Hey, it's a 5-4 game now. The boys are right back in this. And who comes up next? It's Zach Collins. And he crushes one to left field, and it's gone. And we're tied at 5 back-to-back jacks. And it's Zach Collins of all people? Okay. And it's 5-5. Now, I had a question for you guys, though. And I want to hear your thoughts. Obviously, Charlie Montoya, we love what he did when he got kicked out and everything. But the managerial mistake that I had during this game is in that 6th inning. You scored 4 runs to tie the game at 5. You then proceeded to get 2 more base runners. I can't remember. I know Espinal was one of them. I can't remember who the other one was that got a base hit, and you had 2 on and 2 out. But nobody, all this was with 2 out, right? I believe the Chapman home run was with 2 out. The Collins home run was with 2 out. The back-to-back singles were with 2 outs. Everybody is buzzing, and you have Bradley Zimmer at the plate. And I'm like, George Springer. Everyone's red hot. He's running up and down the dugout ready to get out there. And I'm like, why is Zimmer getting this at bat? He strikes out a ton. George is clutch as all hell. We've learned that enough. I want him in that situation. And okay, if you don't want to play him in center field, that's fine. Take him out for Zimmer. Tapia go to center. George go to right. Fine. Let that happen. But no. They stay with Zimmer, and he strikes out. The inning is over. The Jays do not score again. That's just my take on that play. You guys can agree to disagree, whatever, but that was just my thought in that moment. And we move ahead to the top of the 9th inning. And Julian Merriweather on. We can sit here and talk about, the back-to-back strikeout calls. I think it was Gurriel was one, and I believe, who was the other one that got rung up? It was back-to-back backwards Ks on balls about 8 feet out of the strike zone. I can't remember who it was. I knew Gurriel was one of them, but it was that's when Charlie got the boot. But at the top of the 9th inning, Julian Merriweather on, Christian Pache, 2-run bomb, and you're down 7-5. Jays get a chance late. They have a guy on base. George Springer at the plate. Yeah, he Ks. And then I think Tapia struck out. Ball game. The umpires were horrendous. All game long for both teams, but majority for the Jays because they were getting rung up on a lot. There's a difference between a first pitch strike or the second strike of an at bat. Getting rung up 3 or 4 times on balls not even in the strike zone, it's sad. It is really sad. That's why Charlie got the boot, because he had enough of it. And yeah, there's things, you want to be consistent. Yes, but when you're consistently god-awful, there's a difference. Right, if you're calling just off the plate outside or just off the plate inside or just up or just down consistently, fine. But if you're that much off the plate where no one can hit it, but you're going to call it anyways, what are the batters supposed to do? It's horrendous umpiring. It happened in the Yankees-Orioles game. As much as I don't like the Yankees, it happened there too. It's bad right now. Umpiring is really bad in the major leagues right now. And the Blue Jays, look, Ryu is terrible. We can talk about the umpires all we want. Ryu was not good. And Merriweather, if you're going to be a late inning guy, you give him a 2-run bomb in the 9th inning, just can't happen. Right? But Ryu just was not good enough. 4 innings, 6 hits allowed, 5 runs, only 1 strikeout. Didn't walk anybody, but he was too busy throwing meatballs. Trent Thornton was the main reason this team stayed in the ballgame today. 2 innings, 1 hit, no walks, no runs, couple strikeouts. He did a great job in his 2 innings. David Phelps went a clean inning. Jimmy Garcia was getting squeezed all over the place around the plate, and I'm like, well, hold on a second. Where did this come in? I thought the strike zone was massive. So he ended up walking 2 guys, but striking out one, finding a way to get out of that clean inning. So a good job from Jimmy Garcia. Offensively, Gurriel went 2 for 4 with a couple runs scored. Matt Chapman with 2 for 4 with a run scored, a couple of RBIs on the home run. And then Zach Collins went 3 for 4 with a run scored, 2 RBIs on the home run that he hit. Team overall, 10 hits in the game for the Blue Jays, 11 strikeouts overall from the Toronto Blue Jays. And overall, not a pretty one for the Jays and the Raptors. You love to see it. Good news, though, is Alek Manoah. I wish I could show you the back of my jersey. You guys, you can see the H and the A. You know who it is on the back of the jersey, number 6, Alek Manoah. He gets the ball for the Blue Jays tomorrow afternoon against Adam Oler. It's 1:37 first pitch at Rogers Center. Look, no matter how bad this game was, you have a chance to win the series tomorrow with arguably your ace on the mound in Alek Manoah. He was obviously phenomenal in the Bronx. You look to keep that mojo going against Oakland tomorrow in the finale of the 3-game set. All right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You enjoyed the video and not the game today, except for the comeback, which was quite fun at the time. But not the rest of the game. Smack the like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not already. Comment down below thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game, what you like, what you not like from today's game for the Toronto Blue Jays. Twitter link is down below, so follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. The Instagram link is also down below, so follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys. Leafs Nation, they're down 4-3 in the third to Ottawa, so we'll talk about it very shortly then. Maybe we'll talk about 3 losses tonight. I don't know. We'll see. For the Toronto Raptors, Game 2 goes on Monday night, 7:30 tip-off there in Philly. Probably no Scotty or Thad, so we'll see what happens. And as for the Toronto Blue Jays, they're back in action tomorrow afternoon, 1:37 first pitch at Rogers Center. Alek Manoah, Adam Oler is the pitching matchup there as the Jays look to win the series 2-1. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the game, not the game this afternoon, because we were pulling our hair out half the time. We'll talk to you guys then.